Welcome back to the Prep Lab. This is math lesson 110, M110, percents. Percent means out of 100. So the word percent itself is per, which usually means divide, and cent, which is 100, like 100 cents in a dollar. So percent means out of 100. Percents in mathematics are done with decimals or fractions. Everybody knows to convert percent to a decimal or a fraction. Let's look at an example. 25%, as a decimal, you move it 2 decimal places, so it's 0.25. So you write 25, and you go 1, 2, 0.25. As a fraction, it's 25 out of 100, or reduced to 1/4. Another percent would be 15%, 0.15, or 15 out of 100, which reduces to 3 out of 20. Percents could also be greater than 100%, like 200%. 200%, if we move the decimal 2 places, is just 2.0. And 200 out of 100 is multiplied by 2. 200% is also known as doubling. Here's a great question. Let's take a look at the board. What percent of 12 is 3? This is a very easy standardized test prep question and one used to warm up. So what percent, P, of 12 is equal to 3? P of 12 is P out of 100 times 12 equals 3. When we multiply by 12, to solve algebraically, we'll divide by 12. So P out of 100 equals 1/4. We just did that problem before. 1/4 is the same as 25%. If we multiply both sides by 100, we get P is equal to 25. And then we add the percent sign. Be very, very careful when they use a variable as a percent. There's an old SAT problem that I love that says K percent. What a lot of people do automatically is write point K because we're used to a decimal, but that's not right. We need to do this as a fraction. We need to do K out of 100. Let me give you an example. What if K was 5%? If we did 0.5, that's actually equal to 50%. And our good friends at the SAT and the ACT will certainly have one of the multiple choice be 50%. Or if K equals 5, it's 0.05, which would be 0.0 K. I didn't really mean to say 0.0 K, but it worked out. Percent increase and decrease. This is particularly important on the SAT because they use the decimals as answers. They don't actually ask for the answer, they ask for the equation. A 25% increase is to start with 100%, 1.0, plus 0.25. This equals 1.25. So if I start with any number and I want to increase it by 25%, I multiply by 1.25. That would be the answer on some of the SAT questions. The ACT isn't actually using that as an answer choice right now, but it's fair game. A 15% decrease is 1.0 minus 0.15, which equals 0.85. You would multiply the number by 0.85. So don't worry, the SAT would also have in there 0.15 as a solution. But the answer is, if it's a 15% decrease, it is multiplied by 0.85. Percent of a percent. There's a lot of times when there's 2% problems put together. If you watch the video that we're going to record next on solutions, here's one of the questions. What is 60% of 80%? This is a very easy problem. It's just 0.6 times 0.8, which is equal to 0.4. 0.48, 6 times 8. 60% of 80% is equal to 48%. Percent is often used with prices. So they talk about stores, Damien bought a computer at the store. Phil bought a coat. The price was marked up. The price was discounted. There was an increase. There was a decrease. There was a tax. The three words to pay attention to are markup, discount, and tax. Markup means what the store bought it for, and they're going to increase the price. So markup is an increase. Discount is a decrease. So if there's a 15% discount, we're going to subtract 15% of the price or multiply by 0.85 like I just showed you. Tax is always an increase. Tax is always an increase. The tax is never lower than the original price. So if it's an 8% tax, you multiply it by 1.08. Not 0.8. That's going to be one of the That's going to be one of the strange solutions too. Exponential growth and decay. This is an Algebra 2 problem, and it asks if the population grows 4% every year for 5 years. What happens? Well, let's put the population at 1,000, and let's increase it by 4%, which means multiply by 1.04. Well, that's 1 year. Multiplied by 2 years, I multiply the increase by the increase. And I keep doing this for 5 more years until I get the original population times my percent increase raised to the 5th power. You should know how to do percent increase and decrease over time, the same percent per year as a decay or growth, and that's exponential. And that's my lesson on percents, math lesson 110.